Have you ever wondered if those strange sounds your cat does have some real meaning? Are they just random noises? Or is he really trying to say something? The answer can completely change the way you see your feline. What few know is that cats have created their own vocal language just to communicate with humans. And yes, it includes from the softest meow to desperate screams that seem to come from another dimension. While we think we are the ones who teach them commands and routines, the reality is more surprising. It is the cats that have been training us for centuries. They learn to identify the sounds that work with each person and use it as a strategy. If you always respond when he measures a certain way, congratulations. You have been successfully conditioned. But the most surprising is in the numbers. Cats have a vocal repertoire with over 100 distinct vocalizations. By comparison, dogs have about 10. This makes cats, outside the birds, the most vocal domestic animals on the planet. And the most curious detail, adult cats don't give each other to each other. This type of vocalization is directed almost exclusively to us humans. And so far you have discovered something new about your cat. Don't keep it just for you. Leave the like right now and subscribe to the channel to continue receiving content that will turn the way you communicate with your feline. Activate the bell so as not to lose the next videos, because your cat deserves a tutor who really understands him. Why? Because they realize that sound is the most effective way to draw our attention, and they perfected it with subtle intelligence. Each cat develops its own language, adjusted to its personality, life experiences, and the behavior of humans around. That is, your cat has a personalized vocabulary just for you. In this script, we will reveal the most common sounds used by cats to communicate and what each really means. From here, you will never hear your cat's meow in the same way. Sound 1. The classic May woman, the universal request, the best known and most underrated. The famous member originates in feline childhood. Puppies use this sound to get their mother's attention when they are hungry, fear, or discomfort. But as they grow, they fail to use this sound with each other, and reserve it exclusively for us. Yes, when your adult cat measures, he is basically treating you as a maternal figure. It is a form of communication that carries an emotional weight. He learned that this sound has power. He moves you. The standard May woman can vary in tone, duration, and intensity, and each variation has an intention. Short and sharp meow, a simple hi or greeting. Prolonged meow, impatience or demand for something urgent, usually food. Intermittent meow, it may be anxiety or need for continuous attention. Now comes the part that few perceive. Cats customize the meows according to effectiveness. If he realizes that a certain type of meow makes you raise faster from the couch, he uses it more often. It is no coincidence. It is strategy. And the most fascinating, many tutors report that their cats have different meow for specific things. One for food, another for affection, a third to open the door. This confirms that the cat, even without structured verbal language, is able to build a highly effective functional vocabulary. Some studies also indicate that the cat's meow changes according to the tutor's emotional response. If you ignore it, it adjusts the tone. If you answer smiling, he tends to repeat. This shows that there is a real dialogue happening, albeit silent to those who do not know how to hear. In addition, the member may be accompanied by gestures, such as rubbing on your legs, lurling on your stomach, or staring at it. These compliments are part of the communication pack. Sound alone rarely comes without body context, and if you think only domestic cats have developed this behavior, it's wrong. Wild cats rarely use prolonged vocalizations with each other. Vocalization directed to another living being, consistently and variedly, is an evolutionary adaptation to live by our side. That is, the member is not any sound. It is a sophisticated, emotional, and social tool that your cat uses to connect with you. When he meows, he is trusting that you understand, or at least will try. In the next sound, let's dive into one of the most enigmatic signs in the feline universe, the ronronar. Is it really a sign of joy, or is there anything much deeper behind these vibrations? In the previous part, we talked about the classic member, that sound that your cat created just for you. But what you may not know is that there are layers within the member itself, and each variation carries a specific meaning. For example, the hungry meows have a slightly more annoyed tone, as if the cat is saying, "Excuse me, you're a minute late with my dinner, and I'm starting to consider calling my feline lawyer for culinary negligence." It may seem exaggeration, but try to delay his meal and see the answer. Other meows have a dramatic, long, almost theatrical intonation. They are the attention of attention. They are usually accompanied by a strategic fall to the floor, rolling on the rug, and that look that says, "The remote control stole your attention for 3 whole minutes, so I'm declaring a feline emergency." Each cat develops its own custom meow set. Some tutors claim to recognize up to 5 different types of meow in their cats. One for food, another for affection, a third to leave home, and so on. This is no coincidence. It is proof that your cat is developing a vocabulary tailored to you. If you recognize any of these sounds in your routine, share in the comments. After all, this exchange helps other tutors understand their own felines, and that's how we create a real cat whispering community. Now let's go to sound 2, and this is special, because we are not just talking about sound, but a vibration that touches the emotional of those who love cats. Sound 2, the ronronar, far beyond pleasure. Ah, ronronar, one of the most comforting sounds in the world. Almost every tutor has experienced that moment of absolute peace when he heard his grooving cat on his lap. But what most do not know is that this sound goes far beyond a simple sign of contentment. Ronronar is considered one of the most fascinating phenomena of the animal kingdom. Scientifically speaking, it is generated by rhythmic impulses in the cat's brain, which contract the larynx muscles intermittently, creating sound vibrations. And here begins the mystery. The frequency of these vibrations, between 25 and 150 Hz, is exactly the same as used in therapeutic bone healing and muscle regeneration treatments. That is, cats not only do you scroll for pleasure, they purr to heal. And don't stop there. There are records of cats that purr when they are injured, with pain or in stress situations, such as veterinary offices. Contrary to popular belief, this land is not a sign that everything is fine, but an attempt by the feline body to reduce fear, relieve pain, and promote physical regeneration. It is a survival instinct in the form of sound. And the most exciting? Many experts believe that cats also scroll to heal their tutors. Several reports point out that cats approach their owners when they are sick, anxious, or emotionally shaken, and purr for long periods beside them. A study of the Fauna Communications Research Institute found that ronronar can help reduce blood pressure, relieve stress, and even stimulate endorphins release in humans. This means that by lying on you and ronronar, your cat may be literally trying to help you, as if to say, "I am here, and I can relieve your pain with my presence." It's not just love, it's intuition. There is a touching case that circulates between experienced tutors. One woman discovered cervical cancer after noticing that her cat, Toby, insisted on lying on her belly every night and spotted intensely just at the tumor site. According to her, the cat knew there was something wrong even before the doctors. This type of report, although anecdotal, has been increasingly considered by feline researchers. Ronronar, then, is a type of double communication, healing for them, comfort for us. But of course, not every ronronar is therapeutic. Sometimes it's just pleasure. When the cat is relaxed, receiving affection, and begins to mourn gently, he is saying, "I trust you." It is one of the biggest signs of bond between a feline and its human. Another important detail: cats also learn to ronronar as a positive manipulation tool. If you find out that you mourn on your lap, make you stop what you are doing to caress them or pay attention, guess what? They will repeat the gesture whenever they want something, and they learn fast. Ronronar is therefore a multifunctional sound. It can mean well-being, pain, healing, manipulation, or search for comfort. The best way to interpret what your cat means to ronronar is to observe the context. Is it relaxed? Are you injured? Are you sad or sick? The answer is in this set of signals. And in the next part, let's explore a sound that many tutors ignore, but that carries a surprising emotional load: the chilreo or trini. Get ready to understand what this cute sound really means. In the previous part, we talk about ronronar and how it is more than a sound. It is a therapeutic vibration that connects the cat he loves. Now we get into a new category of vocalizations, where instinct speaks louder. Sounds that seem strange or funny to us but reveal the hunter and ancestor side of their feline. Let's go to sound 3. Sound 3. Chittering. The frustration of the arrested hunter. Have you ever seen your cat sitting in the window, with your eyes fixed on a bird or squirrel outside, and suddenly he begins to emit a strange sound with his jaw vibrating rapidly. It looks like a repetitive click, almost as if it were chewing the air. This sound is called chittering, or in Portuguese, chattering. It is a quick interspersed vocalization that happens when the cat sees a potential prey that it cannot reach. And although it seems funny, this behavior has deep roots in the predatory instinct. Researchers believe that chittering can have two main meanings: intense excitement by the visible prey, frustration for not being able to reach it. It's like the cat saying, "If this window wasn't there, you were already." Some theories still suggest that this sound is linked to a pre-source reflection. That quick movement of the jaw could simulate the fatal bite he would use to slaughter his prey. This would explain why many cats make the same sound even when facing toys or shadows that mimic motion. Even more fascinating, large felines like guepards also make similar sounds when observing prey. This shows that behavior is present in the entire feline family, from his domestic kitten to the predator of savanna. So the next time you hear your cat chattering in the window, know that he is expressing his most primitive hunting instinct, and at the same time his modern frustration for living behind a glass. Now we go to a sound that can even scare those who don't know him. Tall, long, and impossible to ignore. Sound 4. Caterwaul. The scream of mating. If at some point you heard a long sound, almost a sharp lament, coming out of some roof at night, that sound that makes you think a supernatural being is crying, so you heard the famous caterwaul. This vocalization is typical of females in heat and serves a single purpose: attracting partners. Caterwaul is high, penetrating, and can be repeated for long periods. Nature designed this sound to travel from great distances so that other cats can listen to him even to several blocks away. It is the feline equivalent of a public announcement. "I'm available. Come find me." Cats that have not yet been sterilized enter Kyo cycles frequently, and caterwaul becomes part of the ritual. Sound can be so strong and constant that neighbors think the animal is in suffering, but in fact, she is just seeking love. So if your cat is making this sound, and she has not yet been castrated, consider the procedure seriously. Castration not only eliminates caterwaul, but also protects against reproductive diseases and unwanted pregnancy. But beware, males can also make similar sounds when they smell a female in heat nearby. It is a hormone-motivated behavior, and it can generate conflicts between unspoken males. Caterwaul, therefore, is not just a sound. It is a biological tool with clear purpose. And for tutors who want nights of sleep alone, understanding it is the first step in dealing with it effectively. Cats and their sounds, much more than meow. So far, we've seen sounds of affection, frustration, and reproductive desire, and each one reveals a different aspect of the feline emotional universe. It is important to remember that not every cat will make all the sounds described on these lists. Some are quieter, others are extremely vocal. This depends on the personality, the environment, the creation, and even the race. The important thing is that you learn to listen carefully, not just with your ears, but with your eyes and coexistence. Often a strange sound may be pointing to something urgent, such as pain or emotional need. In other cases, it's just a way for your cat to say, "Hey, you, pay attention to me." In the next part, we will reveal two more fascinating sounds: the maternal chilreo, full of tenderness, and the night howl, which may indicate from confusion to longing. In the previous parts, we saw vocalizations that oscillate between affection, frustration, and instinct. Now we enter an even more sensitive zone of feline communication, the sounds that cats use to connect emotionally or express pain. Get ready to understand two of the most delicate and powerful vocalizations your cat can emit. Sound 5. The chirp or trill, your cat's maternal voice. Among all the sounds emitted by cats, the chirp or trill is perhaps the most charming. It's that short, sharp sound, sometimes similar to a small curved corner at the end, something like a brrrip. Unlike the meows or ronronars, the chirp always seems to carry a touch of joy and urgency at the same time. This sound originates from the relationship between mother and puppy. Wild cats use this vocalization to tell their kittens phrases like, "Follow me," or "It's time for the breastfeeding." It is an affectionate but firm call. Therefore, it is common for females to be more trilating than males, even though all cats can learn to use this sound. When your cat emits a trill or chirp toward you, it is, in essence, treating you as part of his family. More specifically, as a puppy that needs to be guided, or as someone special with whom he shares this effective code. It is as if it said, "Hi, good to see you. Come here, look this here. I want you to pay attention to me now." This is why this sound usually comes when you come home, when it sees you after a time away, or when you are excited about something. And attention. This sound almost always indicates a positive intention. Upon hearing, reciprocate. Talk to him, approach, make affection. This reinforces the bond and stimulates more interactions of this type. Chirp, more than a sound, is an invitation to the connection. If your cat uses this vocalization with you, congratulations. He trusts you and wants to share moments. Taking advantage of this loving pause. If you are enjoying discovering this hidden universe of feline language, subscribe to the channel right now and activate the bell so as not to lose the next episodes. We are building a cat in love with cats, and you are an essential part of it. Now get ready to dive into a more intense, emotionally loaded sound, and often misunderstood. Sound 6. Yowl. A cry of anguish, loneliness, or confusion. The yowl, also known as feline howl, is a prolonged, severe, and dragged vocalization. It can sound like a distant lament, something between a crying and a call that crosses the dawn. This sound may have several meanings, but most of them point to a common point: emotional or physical discomfort. Suffering cats, frightened or feeling pain, can emit this sound. But it also appears in more complex situations, such as elderly cats who suffer from night disorientation. These episodes, similar to what happens in people with dementia, make the cat feel lost indoors, even in a family environment. When the lights go out and everything is silent, he can walk through the rooms meowing loudly without stopping. It is as if it said, "Where am I? Does anyone answer me? I'm confused and afraid." These night shouts are moving because they reveal a fragility that we do not always realize. The cat that was once silent and independent now seeks security, no longer in instinct, but in the bond with the human. What's more, yowl can also be emitted by cats who feel alone, anxiously, or emotionally neglected. Animals that spend a lot of time without stimulation, play, or social contact tend to vocalize more at night. This is not a tantrum. It is a connection request. What to do in these cases? Offer a comfortable night environment. Leave a soft light on. Prepare a soft bed. And if possible, allow the cat sleep close to you. Keep a routine. Cats feel safe in habits. Food, games, and moments of rest should happen at regular times. Consult the veterinarian. If the behavior is recent and frequent, it is essential to investigate physical causes, such as pain, hearing loss, or cognitive dysfunction. Yowl, therefore, is not just a strange sound. He is an emotional alarm, asking for attention, care, and often empathy. Cats speak. We just need to learn to listen. Between an affectionate chilreo and a pain of pain, there is a whole universe of feelings, needs, and desires. Cats don't speak our language, but they raised one of their own to get to us. When we pay attention, we open doors to a deeper, rich, and significant relationship. In the next part, we will explore the sounds of defense and alert, such as the whistle and the growl, clear signs that something is not well and that your cat is preparing to protect. Throughout this script, we plunged into different sounds emitted by cats, from mean and ronronars to screams, trinnies, and howls of loneliness. But now it's time to open your eyes to something even more subtle, and perhaps even more powerful. The sounds that don't hear, but also communicate. Yes, we are talking about your cat's body, the facial expressions, the tail, the ears, and even his ability to imitate you. A lot of people don't know, but the vocal patterns that a cat will use for a lifetime are defined mainly in the early weeks after birth, especially between the 2nd and 9th week of life. This period is called the feline social window. This is when the cat's brain is more open to learning, adapting, and recording behaviors. Now imagine a puppy separated from the mother too early, or raised only by humans without the presence of other cats. He will not have learned certain typical signs of traditional feline language. This often creates alternative ways to communicate, unique vocalizations, sounds mixed with human gestures, and even answers to specific words that he observes are important to the tutor. These babies, as many call, they become much more aware of human reactions, and over time, they adjust their own communication for more effective answers. This is why some cats look different, and they are shaping their own language based on the way you respond. But this is not only appropriate for puppies raised by humans. Adult cats also learn. They are constantly observing their behaviors, words, and gestures. If you always say food before going to the rations closet, he learns to associate that sound with the meal. And not just that, he tests variations. Mia different, positions himself in another way, stare, and realize which of these attitudes makes you get up faster. It is a constant experiment, where the goal is one, to be understood. Many tutors report that their cats speak human words, and in some cases this is more true than it seems. There are videos of cats saying something that sounds like mother, no, or hello. And no, they are not learning the language, but imitating sound patterns that have proven effective. A cat who realizes that a certain sound generates a positive reaction from the tutor repeats it. This is applied intelligence, and this learning goes beyond the voice. Many cats also mimic human gestures. Put the paw on the switch, try to open doors, ride the counter when you are in the kitchen. They understand that certain behaviors draw their attention and use it to their advantage. So it's time to turn the game. Instead of just listening to what your cat vocalizes, start watching the nonverbal signs carefully. Your cat's body speaks, and speaks a lot. The tail's position shows your mood. The ears reveal whether he is relaxed, curious, or annoyed. Pupil dilation indicates alert, fear, or excitement. Walking may suggest confidence or insecurity. The act of rubbing your face in you is a way of saying, "You are mine." When you unite these signs with the sounds it emits, you have almost complete communication. It's like setting up an emotional puzzle that reveals exactly what your cat feels, thinks, or wants at that moment. And here is the most important point of all. When you respond correctly to your cat's signals, you are saying, "I understand you." And there is nothing more powerful in any relationship than the feeling of being understood. Studies show that cats whose tutors interpret their signs well tend to be more confident, quieter, less stressed, and with less problematic behaviors, such as aggressiveness or pee out of place. This is because when they are heard, even without words, they relax. They know they can express themselves and will be welcomed, and that changes everything. The good news is that any tutor can learn this language. You don't have to be an expert. You just need observation, patience, and willingness to adjust your reactions. Pay attention to your cat's eyes, the way he moves, in the tone and frequency of sounds. All of this reveals a hidden but extremely accessible universe to those who love. So when hearing a meow, don't just think he wants something. Ask yourself, what is he trying to tell me? Seeing him rub on his leg, understand that maybe he is saying, "You are my refuge." Upon realizing an unusual silence, it may be that he is just watching you, to understand you better as well. Because in the end, the most surprising about cats is that, as long as you try to understand what he says, he is doing exactly the same thing with you. You have already learned what each vocalization of your cat means. You already know that this soft mayware can be a request for affection, that chilreo is a loving greeting, and that yowl can signal pain or confusion. But now the crucial time comes: how to respond correctly to each of these sounds. The right answer can strengthen your bond, avoid unwanted behaviors, and make your cat be heard, valued, and safe. So let's go to some practical ways to react to the sounds your cat emits. 1. For chilreos and trills, answer with joy and attention. When your cat releases a chilreo or a trinky, he is addressing you in an affectionate way. It is the equivalent of an "Hi human, good to see you." For him, this sound is an invitation for connection. What to do? Answer with an "Hi." Equally happy, talk to him in a soft voice and, if he allows, approaches for affection. This answer reinforces the feeling of bond. Some cats now repeat this greeting more often when they realize that it generates positive interaction. 2. For hungry meters, create predictable routines. If your cat's meow always appears before the meal, he probably learned to use this sound to remind you that it's time to eat. But if this behavior is unpredictable or insistent, it can generate eating anxiety. What to do? Establish fixed times for food. This helps your cat feel safe and reduces excessive meows. If possible, use an automatic feeder. It associates the object with food, not just you. And never feed as an immediate response to a hysterical meow. Wait for him to calm down so as not to reinforce anxiety. 3. For attention, meow. Interact with quality. Your cat is staring at you, Mia. Throws yourself to the floor and makes drama. He's not hungry. He's needy. Putting attention to attention are common in cats that are alone for many hours or who like intense interaction. What to do? Give it quality time. It doesn't have to be much. 10 to 15 minutes play with wand, ball, or rope mouse already make a difference. If it is quieter, affection, and brushing work. The important thing is that he understands that his attention comes in response to good behavior, not the tantrum. 4. For howls, night howl, or anguish shouts. If your cat walks around the house screaming at night, don't ignore it. This sound can be a sign of pain, disorientation, or loneliness. Elderly cats mainly can be confused in the dark and vocalize because they are lost. What to do? Check for pain or disease with veterinary help. Create a safe environment with nightlight and family smells. Leave clothes with his smell on his walk. Talk to him from a distance to hear your voice. If he needs company, consider letting him sleep closer to you. 5. For growls, whistles, or aggressive screams, respect the space. These sounds are clear. The cat is scared, annoyed, or feeling threatened. Trying to force contact at this time only gets worse. The common mistake is wanting to calm down, which can cause scratches and bites. What to do? Move away slowly and do not face the eyes. Remove the possible trigger, another animal, foreign object, loud noise. Give him time to recompose himself. After the moment, offer a neutral snack or toy. This helps reprogram the experience. 6. Combine sounds with body language. A member alone says little, but an erected tail, meow, relaxed body, and calm look. This is greeting, affection, and positive expectation. Already a short meow with ears back and dilated pupils may be fear or irritation. What to do? Learn how to read your cat's body. Tail, posture, ears, and eyes say as much as the voice. And when you respond to the whole, and not just the sound, the cat realizes that you really understand it. 7. Observe standards and customize the answer. Each cat is a universe. What works for one can be useless to another. Over time, you will realize that it repeats certain sounds in specific contexts and better reacts to certain types of response. What to do? Create an informal diary of behavior. Note as he measures for food, to play, to call. See what calms down, what cheers you, and what it avoids. Adapt your answers to his individual profile. In the end, the most important thing is to understand that every sound of your cat is an attempt to connect. Even when he screams or whistling, he is communicating something and hoping you listen to him, not just with his ears, but with his heart. Cats don't speak like us, but that doesn't make them less expressive. They just use a language that mixes sound, body, and emotion. When you learn to respond correctly, it transforms the relationship of coexistence into a true partnership. If this script helped you better understand what your cat is trying to say, enjoy this video, subscribe to the channel, and share with those who also love felines. And in the comments tell, what is the most curious sound your cat does, and how do you answer? Now it's your turn. In the comments tell us, what sound does your cat make the most intrigue you? It can be a different meow, an unexpected purr, or even a feline bad word. Sharing is learning, and your experience can help other tutors. Like, share, and subscribe, because here, every member has a voice. Until the next video.